Hello to all of my motivators family. This is Marlene Motivates, and I am your life coach. Happy Sunday, happy weekend to every single one of you. Thank you all so much for your support. Today, I wanted to bring you some information that is going to help us motivators family to not only be our best, but to be prepared and ready. Because on Sundays, we got to get everything together so that we can have a successful week. And I wanted to share four things that we should do to prepare ourselves for our week ahead. I hope you all are doing amazing. I hope you guys are doing great. So, we're going to get into talking about it. And why is it important to prepare ourselves for the week ahead? Well, first, we got to start off with what is preparation and why is it important? Preparation is the action or process of making ourselves ready or being made ready for use or consideration. Now, when it comes to our life, if we are not making ourselves ready, being ready, or considering how we can be ready, it's a reason why a lot of times we fail in how our mental health was, or we fail to make good decisions because one of these four things was not done to get ourselves in the right position to have a successful week ahead. So with all that being said, let's start off with these four things that we should do to prepare ourselves for the week ahead. And the first one, let me put that up on the screen. Okay, hold on one second, everybody. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this service still, so please be patient with me as I get it together. The first one is for us to prepare your mind. I think that is a very important thing to make sure that our minds are prepared. And we're going to get into how we can prepare our mind. But first, we have to have our mind right. And I have to tell you guys, and I'm sure that you all know that a lot of times our mind is not in the right space because of things that we're dealing with, the people who we're around that can be very toxic to us, very manipulative, say mean and hurtful things to us to try to break our spirit. But we always have to be ready. And I think that's a very important thing to get ourselves ready, to make ourselves ready so that we can make the best decisions when it comes to ourselves. And why am I talking about preparing yourself for the week ahead? Because lack of preparation, not the right preparation, or allowing certain things to get to us will cause us to not have a wonderful and a successful week. And I want you guys to have a successful week. I want it to be peaceful, joyful, and all of those things. So let me get into this in talking about preparing our mind. Now, every single one of us has things that we are dealing with. All of us have problems. We all have situations. We all have things going on. Why? Because we're not perfect and nobody else is. But we can be successful if we prepare our mind. Now, how can we prepare our mind? This is the question that we want to know. How can you prepare your mind and get your mind ready for the week ahead? It's you have to kind of let your mind go there. What are some things that could come up? Getting your mind ready for that. That's preparation. That's key. Prepare yourself for someone to be negative. That's one thing. Prepare yourself for people to say things that will be disruptive to your spirit. Um, but you got to get your mind ready that for that. When you know that people are going to say things that's rude, mean, hurtful, disrespectful, and you got your mind ready for that. I'm ready for you. So when somebody does it, we don't go off, fly off the handle, as they say. We don't want people crashing out, as my sis Gwen Michelle always says. So we don't want to crash out. We want to make sure that we have our mind right, in the right thinking space, and getting our mindset together, because mindset is everything. We cannot do anything about other people's actions and situations in life as we are adults. But what we can do is get our mindset together and keep our positive attitude. And keeping a positive attitude does not mean that it's going to be easy because we're trying to be positive. Actually, it's the opposite. The more we try to be positive, it's more wrenches that we get thrown into our plans. It's the more that people will be rude and say hurtful and mean things to us. But when we're prepared, no matter what this person says, in my mind, I speak over my own mind that we're going to think positive and logical things. And anything that somebody says that I don't like, I can dismiss it because I have power over me. I have power over my mind. I have power over what I listen to. And that does a lot for us motivators family. When you know that people who are low vibrational, negative, judgmental, controlling, or many other factors as for the reason why people do or say things that will affect our mindset, our positivity, our joy. Because when a person does not know how to be happy in themselves, what are they going to try to do? Project their anger, their insecurities, their issues onto us, because people only vibrate where they are. And that's the sort of energy that people give to you, but you don't have to take it. I had to learn, and this took me a long time to not allow other people's attitude and mindset to get to us like that. Hi, Miss Key. How are you doing? Happy Sunday to you. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Happy Sunday. And that's the thing that is so important, everybody, is not allowing people who are negative to get to our mind. Our mindset is up to us. We can't do anything about other people's actions and their negativity, but what we can do is have our mind in the right space. And there's some things that I always speak to myself to encourage myself, to prepare myself to be ready for the week ahead. And one of those things is I am in control of me. Why is that important? We have to remember that when someone does something you don't like, you can't control, that's rude, I remind myself that I can only control me. I can't control people's actions. I can't control people's attitude. I can't control people who are mentally ill. I am in control of me and what I do and what I say. That's preparation for your mind to get you in that space of remembering that I can only take care of me. I can only do the best that I can. That's very important preparation for our mind, right? As a gentle reminder, remember, I can't do anything about other people. I can't. I can't make other people happy. I can't. I can't make people treat me the right way. I can't. All I can do is be my best self, give it my all, show up with dignity and self respect and self love to myself. That's the application. In preparing our mind for the week ahead, we have to understand that everybody is not happy. There's a lot of very unhappy, miserable, and low vibrational people out there. They want to keep their vibes low. They want to be angry. They want to do nothing but make excuses. But in our mind, we have to put our mind in the space of knowing our own personal value, knowing our own personal worth, and not letting other people affect our mindset, affecting our own peace. I think that's something really important. Yes. Yes. Hi, CA. How are you doing? I think that's something that is so important. We have to get our mind in the right space. And that's what I say to all of you all. Get your mind together. There's maybe some things that you got to remember. I'm only in control of me. I remind myself, and that's an affirmation. That's a strengthening mindset exercises. I will do the best that I can. I will not let others' attitudes affect mine. And I think that one is a very important thing, is to not let other people's attitudes, not letting other people's thoughts and opinions to affect our mindset, and also to affect our mental health, because that's something that's very easy to do. When people say things, it can be very irritating, exasperating. So many words that we can use, how people will just attempt to negatively impact us. But we have to get our minds together and our minds right and be our best. You notice I said our best. We cannot make other people do their best. We are only in control of us. And when I get reminded of that, that I'm in control of me, how I show up, how I treat myself, and all of those things, when you know that, you have your mind right, and you don't blame yourself, because that used to be something that would really get to me a lot. Allowing other people's lack of mental health, lack of self respect, lack of dignity, lack of communication skills affect me. And when you know that you're doing the best that you can, then you have to leave the rest to other people. Okay. We are only in control of ourselves. Now, let me get to the second point. Let me pull that up. The second thing that we need to prepare ourselves for is, we have to prepare your plans. Now, this one is so very important. When we prepare our plans, it means that we're not just expecting for a desired response, expecting for things to work out and pan out, and we haven't prepared it. You have to have things, a schedule. You have to have goals for the week. You have to have things set in place. This is what I'm going to do. And that means everything. Preparing yourself that you're not just going to scatter things and just wake up in the morning before the week even starts. What outfits are you wearing this week? What are your meals going to be for this week? What are you going to, whatever, what is going to be your response when you get put in a negative situation? All of these things, preparing yourself, making plans, it's so that when whatever, like say you wake up in the morning, you don't say, I wonder what I'm going to eat today. I wonder what I'm going to wear. I wonder what I'm going to do as far as my hair. All having those things written down, having those things already done, like meal prep, um, outfit prep, having everything in order. And when we do that, when we have plans together, when we have things in order, it helps things run smoothly, and it brings our stress down, and also will not make us feel so overwhelmed. So I know one thing for me that I had to learn how to be more organized and not just flying by the seat of my pants per se. So prepare your plans, get things together. And that's something that I'm doing. I just finished doing laundry. So while I am motivating you all, I am also motivating myself. I have the laundry done. Now it's time to iron and to have those outfits from Monday all the way until Friday. So I have my things together. Next up, we'll be preparing my lunches. I usually do my lunch and my breakfast the night before, because I am not a morning person. Contrary to popular belief, Marlene is not a morning person, but Marlene is organized. Marlene had great mentors, great friends, and accountability partners that helped me to get things done. And when you do these things, preparing plans, preparing meals, preparing outfits, it helps you to wake up and not wonder. and not to waste our time. So let's keep those prepare plans. If you said you're going to do something at a specific time, do it. Keep your word to yourself. Just like now in the mornings, I have a routine. When I wake up, first thing I do is I say I am so grateful to be alive, and I speak my affirmations over my day. And I also um, have my things that I read to get my mind together spiritually. And then I go and I start my day. I have my outfit out. I have my lunch prepared. I go and get myself together with my personal care. See, the reason why my day runs smoothly is because I it just doesn't happen just like that. I've prepared. What am I going to do tomorrow? So I have my notebook that I write down. From this time to this time will be this and that, and then you just go through your plans, not just saying, "Oh, I'll get to it." Don't hesitate and don't procrastinate. That's very important that we don't procrastinate when it comes to prepare preparing for the week ahead. I know the reason why I am getting less anxiety, less stress, uh, less frustration is because I know what I'm going to be doing the whole day. I always know. Yes, and that's very important. Yes. Let's see what CA put up here. Let me show that. Okay, CA says also consider moving in silence. Beware of dream killers. Yes, that's very important. That's something that I always say over here for many years now is for us to walk in silence and mind our own personal business. So many people are so interested in other people's opinions and what they're doing and trying to compare and compete with other people when we need to be looking at our own lives. Do we have ourselves together? Are we organized? Are we doing the right things for ourselves? That will also help us to lessen stress, lessen anxiety, and keep us motivated and inspired for a wonderful week ahead. And I've already said on Sunday, I get my mind ready and say, we're going to have a wonderful week ahead because we're prepared, because we're at peace, and because of what we're going to be talking about in the next 2 points. Okay. I think that's so important. Preparation is the key to everything. And I never honestly used to believe my mentor when she would say that you had to prepare your mind. I didn't believe her. I was like, prepare your mind. I was like, that's crazy. But it is the truth. You got to prepare your mind. And secondly, you got to prepare your plans. So, do you have a plan? And how are you going to get to it? So we're going to talk about that next. This is something that a lot of people really hesitate to do, and that is preparing your spirit. So many people don't understand that we are at war with spirits. They're all around. They could be visible and they also can be invisible. So you got to prepare your spirit and you got to get it ready, because you can't expect for things to go right all the time. That is why I said earlier, preparing your mind to be strong, to be courageous, and for us to release and let go what is not beneficial to us, what is toxic for us. We release those things, we let it go. We set boundaries, we speak up for ourselves, but we also are mature enough to say, this situation isn't for me. It's time for me to go. This individual is toxic. I'm not benefiting, especially people who are very negative and judgmental. We have to be very careful. We have to be very careful on the way that we treat ourselves. So, just a word of caution, everybody, to make sure that you are preparing your spirit. And why is it essential to prepare your spirit or your life force? Preparing your spirit is just a reminder for us to not come unglued because things aren't going the way that we want it to be. That is part of us as human beings. We want to control situations. But when it comes to matters of the spirit, how we are handling it, is not allowing situations, not allowing people, not allowing anything to get our spirit to be broken. And we can get broken down if we start believing the negative, the projections, the fears, our even sometimes our own insecurities, not allowing ourselves to just be down on ourselves, and to stop letting ourselves be negative, or not allow for us to not allow other people's negativity to impact us in a negative way. We have to learn how to sift through things in life, and we keep the good things, like when you're sifting things, like say you're juicing some sort of citrus, and you put put squeeze it out, but then everything that drops down below are the things that you keep, and all of those things, that sediment that stays, those are the things that you discard. It's the same thing like dealing with other people in this today's society. There's so much things that you have to discard, other people's opinions. You have to discard doubt. You have to discard negativity. Even maybe we may not always feel our best. Some things are going on in our physical body that will affect us. So you have to be very careful, and you must protect your spirit. And protecting your spirit also means to encourage yourself. Remember, we are our own cheerleaders. You got to cheerlead for yourself. That's preparation for a wonderful week ahead. Is you got to get your spirit right. You have to get yourself right, and speaking to yourself and telling yourself, go ahead and be successful. Go ahead, and you're going to have peace. You will have joy this week. I say it in first person. I will have a wonderful week ahead. I will do the best that I can. I will be proud of myself. I will make good decisions. Okay? Not rash ones. You think about what to do. Like I said earlier, prepare your plans. When you've done all of the things that you need to, you're ready. You're prepared. See, we're not just going to fly on a wing and a prayer anymore. We're going to make sure we're doing what we need to do because we're motivated. We're inspired. We love ourselves. We're our own best friend. So it also means that we are in control of encouraging ourselves. That's our job. It's not anybody else's job to make us happy, to bring us peace. So you got to prepare your spirit. And I like to prepare my spirit by making sure I'm taking in some spiritual knowledge, positive things. I like to read positive reading material. I like to be around positive people, supportive, encouraging people, and be very careful because what we are around, you know, can really have an impact on us in a positive or a negative way. It's what you are watching on TV, on social media, the music you listen to, everything gets into our mind. And if we're not careful, you will get yourself so discouraged. Ask me how I know, because I was always feeding my mind with so much negative things. And you'll find yourself in that trap of being negative because the people around you are negative, society is negative, your situation may seem negative, and that is why you have to dismiss what is not helping you, and you have to find things to be grateful for. You have to find things that will encourage you. You have to find things that will lift you up and make you feel and be your absolute best. That is so important. So we have one more point here, everybody. And the fourth point is, well, I know you guys know the answer to this. And number four is prepare yourself to win. Prepare yourself to win because you've done the first three steps. You have prepared your mind, you have prepared your plans, you have prepared your spirit, and now it's time for you to execute it. It's time for you to act on everything that you have done because you've prepared. You've got your mind, you've got your heart, you've got your spirit right. You have everything laid out. Now it's time for us to wake up and to do it. Do the things and get up and make your day amazing by showing up for yourself, doing the right things, making sure you have that plan on paper that you're looking at, but go for it. Whether it's making sure we're taking care of our physical, taking care of your emotional, taking care of your mental, taking care of your financial, your spiritual, all of it. When we have all of those things prepared, now we're good and strong because we put in all of the work. So when we go out there in life, and I'll tell you that this week there's going to be challenges, everybody. So many challenges, from road rage to dealing with relatives to judgments, negativity, stress. There's so many things that is heavy for us to carry in the day-to-day life. I can tell you that. And I know you all know too, adulting is hard and nothing prepares you to be that adult. Sometimes I know for sure I feel like having a temper tantrum, and I just like, I don't want to do this adulting things, but we have to because we have to survive and work and take care of our responsibilities as adults. So let's make it the best week ahead by making sure that we are preparing to be successful. And I want you all to win, not just go through day, another day, the same old thing, but having things like a reward, you know, making sure that we congratulate ourselves. I do. At the end of the day, when there was times where I could have went off, you could have told somebody off for cutting you off in traffic, or you could have said something, you didn't do it, or you could have not prepared a lunch, or prepared your mind, prepared your heart for everything that you have to face. But because you did what you needed to do, you showed up and you already won. I always say the winning begins in the mind. So when you get your mind right, you get your mind ready, you are already a winner, because there are so many times where we don't always want to do the right thing. I know I don't. There's many times being a human being where someone says something and your automatic response is, I'm going to go after them. I want revenge. I'm going to get them back. But it's not the best route for us, especially when we are role models. If you have children or you have people that are looking up to you, we have to make good decisions, because for every action, there is a reaction. So we want to make good choices. We want to show up for ourselves. We want to do the right things, but we also want to act on what we say. We don't want to be a person that just says whatever, and people always say, "Oh yeah, you always say what you're going to do," or as they say in the South, "What I'm fixing to do," but then you don't do it. So just like CA said a little earlier, make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to do. Make sure that you're showing up for yourself and minding your own personal business. Walking in silence is what I call it. You don't have to rationalize, and you don't have to get validation from other people in order for you to do what you're supposed to do. For many years, I took myself off of the target because I was waiting for other people to validate, what were my ideas good? Would they be successful? Would I be happy in doing it? So stop waiting for other people's permission for you to be great, and execute your plans. Show up for yourself, whether it means going and taking your exercise, making sure that you keep a close guard on your mental health. So, making sure you're doing all the things that you need to do for yourself. Show up for yourself, Motivators family. And take care of your mental health. If people who are negative, So try as much as possible to avoid them, being around them, and telling them your own personal and private business, but showing up for yourself and making sure you show appreciation to yourself. I always like to say, pat your own self on the back. You have to be your own cheerleader. Not everybody knows the struggles that we go through on a day to day basis, trying our best to be positive and happy. That just doesn't happen overnight. It takes rigorous work. Like, you really have to be very forceful. I have to be forceful with myself because as a human being, there are many days I don't want to, be positive. I do wake up with a full attitude. But then I remind myself that I'm successful, that I'm loved, I'm happy, and I'm healed. I'm at peace. Don't let other people come in and uh, take your joy away. Bring and drop off all of their problems and leave it at your feet for you to fix. Stop carrying around other people's problems and situations. It's not our responsibility to fix other people. It's not our responsibility to heal them, to make them positive. It's not your problem. Okay? That's not our problem. We're going to take back our life and do what we need to do for ourselves. Make yourself happy. Do all of the things that you need to do. It's so important. See what CA says right here. That is interesting because some individuals are probably stuck or trapped in toxic positivity and don't take actions to try to implement their goals and plans. Yes, at the beginning of every year, so many people talk about, oh, it's a new me, a new start. And after 2 or 3 weeks, that's the end of it. They don't revisit. And that's why I always speak over here about mindset shifting. You have to have your mind right. You have to have plans, but not just any plans, plans that are reasonable and attainable. It has to be something that you know that you can do. While you probably may want to get to a certain weight or a certain amount of money making income or whatever the thing is that you are trying and striving for, there's some things that you are not going to be able to do overnight. So you got to develop some patience and set goals as reasonable and attainable for you right now. Do the best that you personally can. Show up for yourself. Do the right things and follow through. I think consistency is so important in this life when it comes to being positive. It's consistently showing up for yourself. Do the things that is beneficial for you, because I can't tell you guys how often when I have a coaching session that a person may want to get to this certain goal, but first you got to start with the foundation. You got to work on being consistent and persistent. You have to know what you can afford. All of these things that maybe some things, oh yeah, I know that, right? You'll say, Marlene, I know that. Of course. But I'm just saying because not everybody does. And I kept myself away from my goals and my dreams in my life because I wanted to get to the big thing. So because I wasn't getting the big thing, I wasn't doing anything. So start on small, reasonable, attainable goals and then elevate when you're doing a little, then go to the next phase, the next thing that's beneficial for you, and then keep elevating. It's so important that we start goals and we accomplish them and then move on to something else. Or if the goals aren't working, it may be time for you to reset. Maybe that's not the right plan for you. And it's okay for us to realize that. It shows our maturity and it shows that we don't have this ego and we're humble people, because that's all essential things in following through and being happy. Is we have to understand what is good for us, what's best for us, and not the things that maybe necessarily other people want to do or the things that you want to do to get clout or accolades. Okay. Yes, CA. Like the slogan says, just do it. Yes, that's right. We have to show up for ourselves. We have to do the right thing. We have to make a commitment to ourselves. And like I was saying, we have to prepare ourselves for this week ahead. So I wish you guys a wonderful week ahead. And I hope I pray that you have your mind prepared. I hope you have your plans prepared, your spirit prepared. And now it's time for us to win. So go out there this week. Do what you're supposed to do. Be consistent and persistent. Do not compare yourself to other people. We're not in competition with another person. The only person you should be in competition with is your former self. You know, who you were, and striving to be a better version of yourself that's reasonable and attainable. Do your personal best, not what other people think is good for you. Don't sabotage your own success. You are a winner every time you try, every time you get up, every time you make good decisions, but you got to show up for yourself, okay? I thank you guys so much for tuning into today's conversation podcast on this Sunday. So this has been 4 things to do to prepare yourself for the week ahead. I wish you all success, peace, courage, and good mental health. If you do some of these things that I have shared, and maybe some other things that you're thinking of after this conversation, anybody who's listening on the replay, please leave me some thoughts. What are some things that you're planning to do for this week ahead so that you can prepare your mind, you can prepare your spirit, you can prepare your plans, and then you can prepare to act and win. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for your support. I'm Marlene Motivates, your life coach, motivational speaker, and mindset shifter. If you are new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell, and if you enjoyed this conversation, check out my other videos and podcasts and lives. And shout out to my awesome channel members. Thank you guys so much for your support. Join channel membership. It starts at $199. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful weekend and have a wonderful week ahead. I wish you guys peace, prosperity, and endless blessings. I'm Marlene Motivates. And you know what I say over here, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life. This is Marlene Motivates, and I'm out. Have a great week ahead, everybody. Bye bye.